So what would Blake think of The Ancient of Days being displayed at the top of St Paul's Cathedral? The Ancient of Days was the cover to Europe, the prophecy, and is a picture of Urizen, who is representing reason and logic. And Blake was kind of against that in some ways. He liked imagination. So the Ancient of Days is often used to represent God Almighty. Now, I'm not sure if that's what Blake was trying to say. He himself was tiring of religion, how it twists and turns everything that's supposed to be more of a spiritual way of thinking. The image of the Ancient of Days came to Blake through a vision. I think it was when he was going either up or down a staircase when he was living in Lambeth. In the Bible, the Ancient of Days is used as a name for God. I think it's in Daniel. In fact, I think that's how Daniel saw him, as an old man. This is Daniel 7:9. As I looked, thrones were set in place, and the Ancient of Days took his seat. His clothing was as white as snow. The hair of his head was white like wool. His throne was flaming with fire, and its wheels were all ablaze. And in Proverbs 8:27, when he set a compass upon the face of the earth, which is the Ancient of Days, perhaps beginning the creation. I suppose in Blake's books, Urizen was always the adversary. He was like the satanic force. He was bringing reason to his world of imagination. To Blake, God was a fourfold creator, and Urizen was one of the four Zoas. The Zoas being the aspects of this fourfold division. Throughout his books, Urizen is taking the devilic part of the story, because Blake's books are his version of Genesis. You know, Urizen disobeys the good side, he tempts the others, he has a fall, he creates a book full of laws. Urizen created books that brought forth science, war, and sociology, and a fourth one on love, the four aspects of life. He attempted to take over the other lands that belonged to the others, but because he uses reason, these are like what Blake would call chains. He was chained by his mind, when really one should be free. The mind should always be open and free. Urizen, the abstraction. So it's quite weird that he's being shown above St Paul's Cathedral. Maybe it should have been Albion.